right, we are back. And, dovetailing into this House panel advances global warming bill. And Waxman, Waxman's not the worst guy out there. I actually like a lot of what he does, the anti-war stuff. He is so behind this. And I wonder if it's because he's got, money in this carbon credit system. Obviously, Pelosi is a little demon witch, and she's behind it as well. But this dovetails into them saying, what's great for the environment? A bad economy. Lower CO2 emissions. They want to bring your standard of living down to a second world or third world nation if they let you survive. Sounds twisted. Sounds almost impossible. It's the reality. I mean, unfortunately, that's the real deal. So, don't cry to me, Argentina, when this happens, unless you step up and you stop it. I mean, we can stop these bills. We can warn people what a carbon tax is really about. I know a lot of people saw The Inconvenient Truth and worship Al Gore, but it ain't cool, man. It ain't tops. It's bottoms. It's lies. Go check out the Great Global Warming Swindle. Just a couple other stories, and then we're going to go to, I believe we're on Sean in Massachusetts, Marco, Steve, and John. Something kind of cool, actually. I reported on something similar about a year ago over last summer. They were talking about this new Teradisk. What's a Teradisk? Well, basically right now, DVDs, even a dual layer, DVD is 4.7 gigabytes, a dual layer is 9 gigabytes. And if you get a Blu-ray disc, which, most people don't have Blu-ray burners yet, it's about 25 gigabytes. Now, what this new company is saying, forget about the terabyte disc. By the way, 25 gigabytes on a Blu-ray disc, you'd have to multiply that by 4 and then 10, 40 times more than a Blu-ray disc for a teradisc, right? Well, this is a 1.6 terabyte disc that should be available commercially in the next 5 to 10 years. 1.6 gigs, or terabytes. What that means is something that is, I believe, 80 times bigger than a Blu-ray disc. 80 times bigger than a Blu-ray disc. 1.6 terabytes, you could legitimately, if, say, you have DivX encoded movies like the ones that are on Prison Planet, you could have thousands. It's pretty wild stuff. Pretty wild stuff. Even at 700 megabytes apiece, 100 of them, you're only at, 7 gigs? Or no, you'd be at 70 gigs. Whoop-de-doo, 70 gigs. That's nothing compared to the 1.6 terabyte disk. So I thought that was neat. Just shows you how quickly technology does expand. And this one's kind of a little scary. We focus on CERN a lot here because, they want, by the way, CERN is a big plot line in Angels and Demons. But what CERN is these large hadron colliders are going to shoot particle beams into each other, and hopefully they'll be able to create the Big Bang Theory. Some people say it'll create a black hole and kill us all. Nobody's really concerned. But, they're saying they're going to be able to figure out the mysteries of the world and life through CERN. Well, check this out. Man-made star to unlock cosmic secrets. This is odd because it's out of the BBC. Yet it's taking place in California. I've never seen or heard about this institution, but check it out. When the world's most powerful laser facility, who knew that the world's most powerful laser facility was openly in California, flicks the switch on its first full-scale experiments later this month, a tiny star will be born on Earth. The National Ignition Facility, NIF, in California aims to demonstrate the feasibility of nuclear fusion, the reaction at the heart of the sun, and a potentially abundant clean energy source for the planet. First and foremost, NIF has been built for national security purposes to study the conditions that exist in nuclear explosions and the way that nuclear weapons perform. At NIF, you can schedule a supernova explosion for Thursday at 9 in the morning instead of waiting for one to happen by accident in the universe. And, it goes on, but I thought, I'd check this out. And it tells you, how NIF triggers a fusion. A pea-sized spherical capsule is filled with a fusion fuel. This comprises a 150 microgram mix of deuterium and tritium. The NIF laser set up pulses for 20 billionths of a second. For that time, it generates about 500 trillion watts. It generates 500 trillion watts, but there's an energy crisis. 500 trillion watts? My God. That's the equivalent to 5,000,000,100 watt light bulbs. Did you just hear what I said? 5,000,000,100 watt light bulbs. All the laser power is focused onto the capsule surface. The fuel is compressed to a density 100 times that of lead. It is heated to more than 100 million degrees Celsius. Under these extreme conditions, fusion is initiated. So I'm keeping my eye on NIF and that program right there. All right. I believe we're on Sean in Massachusetts. Sean, you're on the air.
Hi, Jason. Are you still red?
You know what? I've cooled down a little bit. I'm looking at myself, and I'm not quite as red or pink as I was earlier. I'm cooling down in here.
My man Jesse just brought you to the forefront, huh?
You know, Ventura, you know, I watched it earlier. Actually, I watched that earlier today before I got the news that we no longer have Miranda rights, and I said, oh, man, this is great. This is upbeat. I really love what Jesse does. And I wasn't fired up until about an hour before the show when I was going through the last of my news clips. Because honestly, before I even really, you know, I got back here early. I usually in middle of the day go back home. I let my dogs out, and then I come back here. And I thought I had the whole show planned out, but I always check my Facebook and MySpace in case there's a breaking story. And someone sent me this on MySpace. One of the guys, he sends me 10 tips a day. There's some guys out there send me 20 or 30 tips a day. It's tough for me to even go through the whole thing, especially this weekend. I wasn't keeping up on it because I didn't want to lose anything in the stack. You know, if I start looking at it on the weekend, I'll forget about it by, Monday or Tuesday, and I had Monday off. And, I barely got through everything, and this just blew my mind. It just blew my top.
It's totally outrageous, but on another note, I was just going to say that your caller, Mark, about making a movie about Alex with his convictions and connections was really, really good. I think it should be investigated. I know he's really busy as well as you are, but it's something that could be brought to the forefront with all of us. And coupled with that, I have tried to get on Alex's show and wanted to propose nationwide town hall meetings every week or every month to further the awareness, to bring the word face-to-face to people that are really complacent about trying to listen to things and not believing it, or at least not saying, oh, yeah, I'll listen to, the Obama deception or this or that. When it's right before their face, it's almost like, because I was in the restaurant business, owned my own restaurant, and when you have a restaurant that you just opened, and I don't have to tell you, either people come there or they don't. Either word of mouth is your best advertising. And when I followed Aaron Russo, he was putting directors all over the state. He had state directors, and I was going to try to be one of them, but someone else came to be one before me, but I actually worked with that director. And I think it's really powerful to know that a lot of the things that are happening, a lot of the bills that are being passed that I am absolutely shocked at every single day that I listen to Alex and yourself to say that these are being brought through, and this is what's happening with Ron Paul and stickers and everything else. It's just
and Campaign for Liberty. Campaign for Liberty is another great organization. You could probably get town hall meetings through that, or make a chapter of We Are Change. All those are great ideas. The Campaign for Liberty was targeted because they were running for office. They were sending people up to the plate with a Ron Paul style politician in the main line, still keeping it quote unquote conservative, so people could digest that, and they didn't like it, so they put him in the MIAC report. You got a Ron Paul bumper sticker? You're a terrorist, pal. It's unbelievable. Sean, I thank you for the call. I got to jump. Marco in Texas, you're online. Yes, sir. Yes.
I'm in Allen, and I just recently found out about all this stuff like a month or two ago. Mm-hmm. And I go to Allen High School, and I recently started telling people about it a week ago because I wanted to make sure I had all the facts straight, Mm-hmm. And me and a couple kids actually have a meeting tomorrow about how we're going to print off a bunch of stuff and take it to our town hall meetings about fluoridation of our water and stuff, and try to get that out of our city. And we're going to go and watch that New World Order movie tomorrow at my house. And it's really crazy. When they first started hearing about it, a lot of kids were scared about it, Mm-hmm. And then I started telling them, you don't need to be afraid of these people. They're not going to come to our school and kill us or whatever, Obviously, mm-hmm. you and Alex aren't dead yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, you do have to watch out, though. I mean, fear is a natural reaction, number one. Number two, talk about indoctrination centers. Schools are it. I mean, if you've only been listening a month, talk about one of the school things that they did. They did a mock school shooting where in Albany, and that's close to home for me, I'm an upstate New York guy, where they literally